Hello students, welcome to another lecture of electrochemistry. In the last class we have discussed about Faraday's law of electrolysis. Whenever electrolytic cell is taken, how much product is formed with how much quantity of current, that interrelation was given by Faraday's law of electrolysis, right? In the same electrolytic cell, you have already seen that ions will be there inside the solution, right? How those ions migrate in the solution and what is the speed of that ions is also measured in terms of its conductance, right? We already know what is conductor, right? But that conductor definition is applied to a solid, right? Whether metals or non-metals or whatever it is, conductor, insulator, semiconductor, those definitions were taken in light of solids, right? But if a solution is conducting ions or electrons, then what is the word you use is not conductor. You cannot say a solution to be conductor, right? So, if solution conducts ions, you should rather say conductance. The work is done by solid and solution to the same extent, but when a solid allows the ions to move, be it positive ions or negative ions, it is called as conductor. But when the same ions moves in liquid, you will no longer say conductor, you will say conductance. And as the ions move inside the electrolyte, that conductance become electrolytic conductance. So, depending on the value of conductance, what happens to the movement of ions, or on what basis conductance value changes. If you increase the quantity of water in the solution, what happens to conductance? If you decrease the quantity of water, what happens to the conductance? All those relations you will see in the same heading called electrolytic conductance. To know the same or to study the same, you should first know what is conductance and what is resistance. In solids also you have conductor, and conductor will allow the electrons to flow, and in the same solids there will be the resistance force offered in the opposite direction, and that is also seen in liquids, right? But every instrument which we use to measure will not be able to measure conductance of the solution. Instruments are used to measure resistance offered by the ions in the opposite direction. Conductance is not easily measured, so you have to measure resistance, because how much conductance is there, exactly opposite will be the resistance. Therefore, if you measure resistance and do reciprocal of resistance, you will get conductance value, right? So, now let us see what is conductance. Conductance is nothing but if a solution allows the ions to move, allows the movement of ions, ions can be cations as well as anions. If the solution allows movement of ions, it is called as conductance, right? But conductance cannot be measured. So, what you have to measure is resistance. First measure resistance and then do the inverse of resistance. So, let us see what the resistance definition is. The reciprocal of conductance is resistance. Conductance reciprocal becomes resistance, right? So, in whichever direction the ions are moving, in the opposite direction, the force which prevents the ion to move is called as resistance, right? And resistance is how much resistance is offered by the solution, that can be measured by the formula. Resistance is directly proportional to the length of the wire or the solution and the area of cross section, right? Length means suppose there is a, right, if this is a solution and in that electrode is dipped, this is the electrode which measures the movement of ions in the solution. What is the length of this cubic box is L, and what is the area of cross section of this cubic box is A. So how much is the length and how much is the area, that relation is directly proportional to resistance. So to remove the proportionality constant, what you have to do is rho. It's not P, it's rho. Reciprocal is resistance is equal to resistivity or specific resistance. This is a constant called as resistivity or specific resistance, and length by area of cross section is as it is. So let us write R is equal to resistance, rho is equal to resistivity. Actually before IUPAC declared the name of this rho, it was said to be specific resistance, but nowadays or in the textbook definition or the textbook word for rho is resistivity only. You should no longer use a specific resistance, right? Resistive. Same for conductivity, not specific conductance. We should not use specific conductance, we should use conductivity, and we should not use specific resistance, you should write resistivity only. It is a constant, and L is length of the wire, area of cross section, right? So when this cubic box is dipped in a solution, I will show the diagram more clearer. If this is a solution in which so many ions will be there, positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, like that, so many ions will be there in the solution. If you want to know what is the resistance of that ions inside this small box, how many ions are moving, that much conductance only you can determine, right? Therefore conductivity is nothing but conductivity is, let us write the conductivity definition first by reciprocating the resistance definition, right? These are the values which we use in the definition. Let us write the same formula for conductance. As we know, conductance C is reciprocal of resistance, right? So let us write the same in this formula. And if conductance is reciprocal of resistance, even conductivity is also reciprocal of resistivity. What is K? K is conductivity. What is K? K is conductivity, right? So now conductivity you should write in that formula of equation 1. Resistance is equal to instead of writing resistivity, you can also write 1 by conductivity also, right? L by A. So now this L by A is called as cell constant, which is unity or 1. When will the cell constant be 1? When the length of the wire is 1 and the area of cross section is 1 centimeter square, then the cell constant value becomes 1, right? Resistance is equal to cell constant, conductivity is equal to resistivity into cell constant, that is one formula. Conductivity is equal to resistivity into cell constant is one formula, or cell constant is equal to resistance by conductivity is another formula. Resistance by conductivity is another formula, and cell constant we have taken, conductivity is we have taken, let us write resistivity. Resistance, sorry, not resistivity. Resistance is equal to conductivity divided by cell constant. You can use this formula in three ways. In the example or in the problem, if they gave you conductivity and cell constant, you have to use the same formula. But if they gave resistance and conductivity, cell constant has to be determined, you should use this formula, right? You have to use the form out of three values. One value is resistance, other value is conductivity, and the other value is cell constant. If they gave 2, the third one can be determined by using this formula. It is a very simple equation which can be asked in problems. Okay, please copy down this and we will move forward. In the earlier formulas, we have taken conductivity, or it was also called as specific conductance. That means in this cubic box, how many ions are there? Conductance of that ions was nothing but conductivity. Conductance of that ions was nothing but conductivity, right? And therefore, if you increase water or if you increase the dilution, what happens is number of ions inside this box, what will happen to them? They will disperse. If water is added, the volume of the beaker increases, and these ions, if 10 ions was present before adding water, after adding water, what happens? More water will come and 1 or 2 ions will go outside the box. The total number of ions in the solution may not change, but the total number of ions which can be accommodated inside this box will be lesser, because as the area is more occupied by water, 1 or 2 ions will go outside the box. So, if you increase the dilution, what happens to specific conductance or conductivity is the value decreases, because the number of ions inside this small box decreases. By diluting or by increasing the dilution, conductivity value decreases, whereas the total number of ions in the solution increases upon dilution. If you add more water, more salt becomes separated into the form of ions. If you add less water, less ions will be formed in the water. If you increase the dilution, more ions will be formed in the water. Therefore, if you increase the dilution, generally ions should increase, right? And that will happen. But how about the ions present in this small box? As it gets dispersed, because more area will be provided by water, the ions get dispersed, and in this small area the number of ions becomes lesser. Therefore, conductivity value decreases on dilution, whereas other conductance called as molar conductance increases upon dilution, which means molar conductance therefore molar conductance depends on what? Volume of the solution also. If volume of water is more, molar conductance will be more. If volume of water is less, molar conductance of the solution will be less, because when you are measuring molar conductance, you are measuring the amount of total solution, not just that small box. That small box was measured in this conductivity only, or this specific conductance only, not in the other conductance. In the other conductance, you measure the ions present in the total solution. Therefore, molar conductance is nothing but specific conductance by concentration. Specific conductance by concentration. Therefore, molar conductance is equal to specific conductance into concentration is measured in terms of what? Molarity. Molarity in 1000 ml, or molarity is measured per liter, therefore you need 1000 ml, right? And let us take the units of specific conductance or conductivity measure. Units are, as resistance is measured in ohms, right? Conductance will be measured as ohm inverse. Ohm inverse can also be called as Siemens. And specific conductance, the cell constant is centimeter inverse. Therefore, ohm inverse also you can say. Ohm inverse, centimeter inverse are the units of conductivity, or instead of writing ohm inverse, you can also write Siemens, just Siemens, not Siemens inverse. Siemens into centimeter inverse into 1000 milliliter, right? So, milliliter can be represented in the form of solid as cubic centimeter per liter, right? Cubic centimeter per liter. And molarity is also measured in terms of moles per liter. This liter gets cancelled, this centimeter inverse, cubic centimeter 1 gets cancelled, the leftover is 2. Therefore, molar conductance formula is this, and final units will be Siemens in Siemens cubic centimeter square and denominator mole, therefore mole inverse. This is the units of molar conductance, right? So, molar conductance is a type of conductance which determines the total number of ions inside the solution. In that solution, if you add more water, more number of ions will be formed by the solution. Therefore, molar conductance increases upon dilution. Concentration is denominator. If concentration is more, conductance will be less. If concentration is less, conductance will be more. Concentration means less water. More concentration means less water. Less concentration means more water. Depending on inversely proportional to concentration, right? So, molar conductance increases upon dilution, and the same is applied for strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. For strong electrolytes, when plotted a graph of concentration on x-axis and molar conductance on y-axis, you got a graph with a straight line in which this is 0 and increasing value of conductance, right? Suppose you take 0.5, 0.25 say for instance, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1.0, right? So, 0 is 0 concentration and it increases. If you go from this side, concentration is more. If you decrease the concentration by adding water, what happens? If you initially what happens is concentration is more, right? Concentration is more, that means water is less. If you go on decreasing the concentration by adding more and more water, what happens to the molar conductance value? It goes on increasing. Are you able to follow? This diagram is for strong electrolytes like KCl. 0 concentration means water is so much that concentration is 0. Concentration is opposite to water. The more water you add, concentration decreases, right? What is the high value of concentration? Here. That means water is less. What is the low value of concentration? 0. That means water is more. So, from this side if you take, if you go on decreasing the concentration. How can you decrease the concentration? By adding more and more water. Adding more and more water is nothing but dilution. If you increase water, what happens? Concentration becomes less and molar conductance value increases, and it finally reaches a point this, and this is a straight line which gives an intercept as well as a slope called as limiting molar conductance. Molar conductance is equal to limiting molar conductance minus A into concentration. This is intercept in the graph, and minus A is the slope, and these two are present on x and y axis. Minus A is nothing but a slope, intercept is nothing but lambda m0, which means limiting molar conductance. This is molar conductance, this is limiting molar conductance. A is a constant, right? C is concentration term, right? So this is what happens in the strong electrolyte. Suppose a strong electrolyte is NaCl. Suppose you are taking 10 grams of NaCl or KCl also. Even NaCl and KCl are same. I have taken 10 grams of NaCl in say 10 ml of water. Will it dissolve easily? No, it will not dissolve. If it dissolves, you will get more ions. If it doesn't dissolve, it gives less ions. So to make NaCl dissolve more easily, what you have to do? You have to increase water. That means you are diluting, right? Upon dilution, what happens? Salt gets easily dissolved and it gives more number of ions, right? Therefore, if you add more water, number of ions formed will be more, and therefore conductance is also increasing. Therefore, that relation you got, right? And this limiting molar conductance had some relations with so many electrolytes. Interrelation was there between different types of similar electrolytes. NaCl, KCl, NaBr, KBr. Are they having some similarity in between these two? Cl minus is same, Na plus and K plus is different. In between these two, Br minus is same, Na and K is different. NaOH, NaCl. In between these two, Na plus is the same, difference is this. In similar electrolytes which have one ion same and the other ion different, Kohlrausch was the scientist who observed that same types of electrolytes. Who are the same types of electrolytes here? KCl, NaCl are same type of electrolytes. NaBr, KBr are similar type of electrolytes. NaOH and NaCl are similar type of electrolytes. If you take the difference between limiting molar conductance value of this and this, the value which you get, difference between this, suppose you got x value, difference between this you got x value, difference between this also you got x value. The difference between limiting molar conductance values of similar electrolytes, he observed that there is a constant value which comes between similar set of electrolytes if you take their difference. That means limiting molar conductance depends on individual ions and not the total set of salt. Therefore, he proposed a law called as Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions, because in every salt or in every electrolyte, the moment you add water, they will no longer behave as KCl or NaCl. What will they become? The moment you add water, they will immediately separate in the form of K plus Cl minus. Their identity is lost. Identity of KCl will be lost in water. It is no longer KCl. It will be K plus and Cl minus. Same way, identity of NaCl is lost in water and it will be Na plus and Cl minus. That's why if you take the difference, you are getting same value for this set and this set. That relationship he observed by a combination of different electrolytes, and he proposed a law called as Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions, in which he told that limiting value of molar conductance is not dependent on this salt or this salt or this salt. It is dependent on a set of electrolyte in ions. It is dependent on limiting value of cations and anions, right? Molar conductance of, suppose, NaCl is not because of NaCl, it is because of the sum of Na plus molar limiting value and Cl minus limiting value. Na plus was giving its limiting molar conductance value and Cl minus is giving its limiting molar conductance value. By combining both only you are getting this value, right? It is not fixed for NaCl. This value is for NaCl, this is the value, for KCl this is the value, like that. There is nothing fixed, right? The value you are getting was because of independent cation and independent anion. When I say independent, cation doesn't depend on anion and anion doesn't depend on cation. Its value is its own and its value is its own, right? And the sum of these two you are getting this value. You have to make the addition of cations limiting value and anions limiting value, then only you are able to get the limiting value of total salt, right? That is called as independent migration of ions. Cations migrate independently. Migrate means move. Cations migrate independently and anions migrate independently. That is called as Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. Let us write the names. This is limiting molar conductance of salt. Which salt? Say NaCl. How about these? This is limiting molar conductance, limiting molar conductance of positive I told, that means cation. Same way, lambda minus 0 is limiting molar conductance of an ion, right? This is Kohlrausch law. And the final Kohlrausch law statement formula is limiting molar conductance of any salt is because of number of cations. Any salt, not always KCl or NaCl. Any salt is showing the value independently because of cation and anion, right? Whichever salt you take, to get the value, to get the limiting value of that salt, what you should do is separately or independently take the number of cations and its limiting value plus number of anions and its limiting value. This is the final formula of Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. Ions migrate independently and cation give its own value, anion give its own value. Therefore, you can make any combination by changing the cation and anion. See, what is the difference between KCl and NaCl? You are simply changing cation. Here the cation was K plus, here the cation was Na plus. Therefore, its cation value will be fixed, anion value will be fixed. If you add both, the value will be, if you subtract both, the difference will be same. Here also, what is the difference between this and this? Cation is same, anion is only different, right? It is because of the ions that the value is coming, it is not because of the salt the value is coming. That's what he want to say, that ions will decide all the things in an electrolyte. electrolyte will not decide all the thing, electrolyte will not decide its conductance, electrolyte will not decide its final value. Who will decide? Ions which migrate independently will decide its molar conductance, and when you add or when you sum up, you will get the final value. Sum of limiting molar conductance of cation and anion will give you the limiting molar conductance of the total electrolyte is the Kohlrausch law. Okay. I will end the electrochemistry chapter here. Please copy down the formulas, and based on these simple formulas you may get a problem in the final exam, which we will see later, and then we will move to the next chapter. By this we have completed electrochemistry. Thank you.